Bruchim ha'aboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph, the second line from the top. The Gemara presented a contradiction between two different Mishnayos. Mishnah in Talmud states that in regards to the Lishkas HaTloim, the Beis HaTloim where we would keep the lambs, at least 6 of them pre-checked without any mum to be ready for the Korban Talmud. That, according to the Mishnah in Talmud, says was located in the northwestern Lishka of the Beis HaMoiked. Whereas the Mishnah in Masechet Midos says it was located in the southwestern corner of the Beis HaMoiked. So here we have a contradiction. The Gemara offered the following explanation. Very simply put, is two different Tanoim. The Mishnah in Masechet Talmud is the Chachamim. The Mishnah in Masechet Midos is Rabbi Lesin ben Yaakov, and that answers up the contradiction. However, our Gemara brings another way of reconciling the two Mishnayos. Says the Gemara, Rav Adebar Reid Rav Yitzchok Omar, Di'i Lishka, Hai Lishka, Aksuye Maktsiya. This Lishka, referring to the Beis HaTloim, this was extending from one corner to the next. In other words, it wasn't on a specific corner. It was off from the corner, but extended close to the other corner. So it depends upon the perspective, the person who is then entering the Beis HaMoiked. As follows: one who enters from the northern side of the Beis HaMoiked. So what does he see? He sees that's not from the northern corner. Rather, he looks and he sees it's closer towards the southern corner. So he considers it to be the southwestern side. And vice versa. One who's coming and entering from the southern side, he thinks that it's extending all the way to the northern corner. So he thinks from the northwestern corner. So it depends on the perspective of the one who's entering the Beis HaMoiked, from the north or from the south. The Gemara says, Umistabra, it is mistaber to say that everybody, including the Tana from Masechet Talmud, agrees that we're talking about the southwestern corner. Why? Mimai, asked the Gemara. Why should even the Man the Omar, who says explicitly in Masechet Talmud that it's the northwestern corner, why should he agree that truly it's from the southwestern corner? And when he said northwestern corner, he's only talking about because a person is entering from the south. Mimai answers the Gemara, Midiraminon lechem haponim alechem haponim. From the fact that we have a contradiction between the two lechem haponims, where they're situated. Now, going back to Masechet Talmud, the way it was set in the order was beginning with the northwest, we said, is the Lishkas Beis HaTloim. And from there, it lists the other 3 Lishkos. Ve'achas Lishkos hachasoimos, Ve'achas Lishkos Beis HaMoiked, Ve'achas Lishkos Shoisim Boi Lechem HaPonim. So the last one that's mentioned, the 4th, is the Lishka of Lechem HaPonim. That's regards to Masechet Talmud. In Masechet Midos, it states, the first one being southwest, the Lishkas HaTloim. But then the next one, it lists as being the southeast, as being Oisin Bo Lechem HaPonim. That's the Lishka of Lechem HaPonim. So going to our Gemara now. The Gemara said we have a contradiction. Midramina Lechem HaPonim al Lechem HaPonim, because that which it states in Masechet Talmud says that the Lishka for Oisin Lechem HaPonim was in the northeast. Whereas that which it says in Masechet Midos says that the Lishka that was Oisin Lechem HaPonim was in the southeast. So now we have a contradiction. Where was the Lishka for Oisin Lechem HaPonim? Umeshaninon, and we can answer Omar Vihuna Breda of Yeshua in the name of Rabbi Yeshua, the following Yishuv to answer this contradiction. Mar Kochoshiv Derech Yamin. In regards to Masechet Midos, he's counting Derech Yamin, and therefore he starts from southwest, going Derech Yamin would be then to the east, southeast, and that's where the Lishka of Oisin Lechem HaPonim is. Umar Kachashiv Derech Small, whereas the one from Masechet Talmud is counting from Derech Small. That means he's going clockwise from the beginning point. And the Gemara explains how that will also end up being then the same corner, the Hainu, the southeastern corner of the Oisin Lechem Aponim, just as we have it for Meseches Midos, which we said is from the southwest to the southeast. Here we'll also get to the southeast as follows. The Gemara explains. On top of Yud Zayin base, Iamris b'Shlomo b'Ma'aravis droimis Havoy. If you want to say that it's starting out from the southwestern corner, that means even the Tana Meseches Tamid agrees that the southwestern corner is where the Lishkas Hatloim is. So then it will work out very well how we can explain how they both have the same place where the Lechem Aponim is, as follows. Hainu, dimitaretz Lechem Aponim or Lechem Aponim. How can we do that? Because if we start, let's say, with Meseches Tamid, and we say Meseches Tamid, you start with the southwestern side, that's where the Lishkas Beis Hatloim is, then you go, we said, in a clockwise fashion, and since that's beginning southwest, on a clockwise fashion, you would go up from southwest to northwest to northeast, and finally arrive at southeast, which would be then where the Lechem Aponim is, according to the Meseches Tamid. And if you go to the then Meseches Midos, where you start with the southwest as being the Lishkas of Tloim, and there you count from the right, that means you go counterclockwise. So over there, from the southwest, counterclockwise would be going to the right, that's the southeast. Again, they both are saying that the Lechem Aponim, the Lishka for Oisin Lechem Aponim is the southeast. So we now are Miyashev if you say that everybody agrees that truly the Lishkas Tloim is in the south, is in the southwest. That would work out very well. But if you're going to say that even according to the Meseches Tamid, it is the northwest, as he states it is, then you have a problem. Because my teirutz the Lechem Aponim. What will then be the teirutz to miyashev the lishka of Oisin Lechem Aponim? Because if you go with this northwest, as stated in the Meseches Tamid, then you start and you go clockwise from northwest. Clockwise would lead you then from northwest to the northeast, from the northeast to the southeast, from the southeast to the southwest. So it would come out that the Lechem Haponim, the Lishka of Oisin Lechem Haponim, would be southwest according to this of Meseches Tamid. And we know when it comes to Meseches Midos, it's in the south, it's in the southeast and not in the southwest. So you would have a contradiction. So therefore, it must be that everybody agrees. Ella la shmamina b'ma'aravis dromis havoy shmamina. That everybody agrees again, even though it states in Meseches Tamid that it's the north, that it's the northwest, but everybody agrees that it's the southwest. Why? Because he was talking about from the perspective of somebody who's going from the south. So he said northwest, as we explained before. But truly, the Lishkas Beis Hatloim indeed is in the southwest, just like it states in the Meseches Midos. Ask the Gemara now, how can you ever say that you go from clockwise and go from right to left? We have a klal that whenever a person is turning, then he was always going from left to right. So that would require him to go counterclockwise, from left to right. So why is it that we're saying over here that in the Meseches Tamid he's going from right to left? That lechara is not in line with this principle of kol pinois. Answers the Gemara, Hani mili. When do we say this principle of kol pinois is always guderech yamin? That's be'avoida. When you sprinkle the dam, then you must go from the perspective of going to the right. So if you're facing the, let's say the altar, the mizbeach, and you're now facing from the perspective facing northwards. So then after you sprinkle the blood, then you'd have to go from there to the right, which would be then to the next side, which would be the eastern side of the Mizbeach, and then the northern side of the Mizbeach and the western side of the Mizbeach. But over here, Aval hocha chushbena ba'almahu. Here we're just merely being mechashbein and saying where is the various lishkos located. So therefore there's not a problem with the principle of kolpinos, because that principle does not apply when it comes to determining where the lishkos is. It only applies to the avoida.